Hello again, everybody. Welcome to USA Wrestling Weekly. I'm Scott Casper. It's time for this week's news from USA Wrestling, the national governing body of our sport. Let's start this week on the other side of the world, Baku, Azerbaijan. That's where we find U.S. wrestlers competing at the Haydar Aliyev Golden Grand Prix Finals. In what's considered to be the annual conclusion of the Golden Grand Prix event series, athletes must qualify their nation to participate. The event offers cash prizes for the top three placers in each weight class. $10,000 goes to each champion, $5,000 for silver medals, and $2,000 for bronze. This year, the young U.S. team included 7 women's freestylers, Greco-Roman athletes, and 2 men's freestyle competitors. Let's go to the results. Claiming a silver medal in women's freestyle was 2009 Junior World Silver medalist Veronica Carlson at 147 pounds. Carlson had a 2-1 record against a very competitive international field. She opened with a big win when she stopped Sweden's 2010 World Bronze medalist Hanna Johansson 1-0-0-1-1-0. In the semifinals, she defeated Japan's 2-time Junior World Bronze medalist Chiaka Ijima 1-0-0-1-1-0. Now in the gold medal finals, Carlson met Azerbaijan's 2010 European champion Nadia Sementsova. She lost the tight bout there 1-0-1-0. Carlson, a 2010 New York Athletic Club sponsored athlete, is also a U.S. Olympic Training Center resident athlete. Well, Sigmund was the other U.S. wrestler to finish with a bronze. The freestyle star from the Nittany Lion Wrestling Club was a 2010 U.S. World Team member who normally would compete at 264 pounds but dropped down to 211 for this event. He lost his opening bout to Arslanbek Aliyev of Russia 2-4-1-0-1-0. Sigmund was then pulled back into the repechage when Aliyev reached the finals. And by a score of 0-3-1-0-3-0 in the third place bout, they defeated Azerbaijan's 2010 World Military Bronze medalist Hazi Ali Kanov. Placing fifth in both men's freestyle and Greco-Roman was rising star Kaylor Williams of Yes Wrestling out of Greensboro, North Carolina. Williams is a Greco-Roman specialist who readily agreed to compete in both styles for the tour. Let's take a look at his performance. We start first in Greco, where he wrestled at 211 pounds. He opened the tournament with a close 1-0-1-0 loss to Azerbaijan's 2012 World Cup champion, Shalva Gabadaz. Williams was pulled back into the repechage when Gabadaz was qualified for the finals. He won his first repechage bout, stopping another Azerbaijani athlete 1-0-2-0. Williams was then defeated in his bronze medal bout by Russia's 2011 Junior World Champion, Islam Megmadov, 1-0-2-0, the final score there. He then entered at 264 pounds for the freestyle competition. He dropped a pair of bouts to 2 talented Russians. Williams first lost to Edward Bazarov and then dropped his bronze medal match to Alan Kugiev. In the women's freestyle area, King College star Amanda Hendy also placed fifth at 138 pounds. Hendy opened the event in great fashion by pinning Evelina Grivik of Sweden. Riding the wave, she was then defeated by Ukraine's 2-time European champion Yulia Ustapchik. In the bronze medal bout, Hendy was beaten by Japan's 2011 Junior World Champion Yurika Ito. Hendy is a past U.S. Open runner-up and has a bright future as a top young prospect on the women's scene. Well, another big international event was held last week, the Veterans World Championships in Budapest, Hungary. 35 years and older, they gathered from around the world to compete for world titles in 7 different age divisions. This year was unique as the event combined both freestyle and Greco at the same time. The United States had large teams in both styles and was able to win medals on each of the 6 days of action. Let's take a look. Let's start with the freestyle tournament that took place toward the end of the first week. The first day, the U.S. men was the most successful they've been in a while with 3 individual champions and 12 total medals. I said 12 total medals. Claiming an 8th career Veterans World title was 63-kilo star Shirazad Ahmadi of Connecticut in Division F. That's for those between 61 and 65 years of age. The amazing Ahmadi went 4-0 in a 5-athlete round robin and is arguably the most successful American wrestler in the Veterans World history. The other 2 U.S. champions were Michael Schick of Florida at 85 kilos in Division B, the age group set aside for the 41 to 45-year-olds, and Stephen Turgan of Connecticut at 58 kilos in Division E for the 56 to 60-year-olds. Schick won 4 matches, including a pin in the finals over Sergei Porgalov. Turgan went 3-0 on the day, including a victory over Lim Yevigny of Kazakhstan in the gold medal bout. The U.S. claimed 2 silver medals with performances by Jack Hornbuckle of Oklahoma and Greg Archer of Indiana. The medal count continued to grow with 7 bronze medals added to the haul. Dave Canizzo of New York, Boris Kulik of Illinois, Kevin Pine of Nevada, Zelig Zegelbaum of New York, Steve Contarino of Florida, Pat Ensel of Florida, and Gary Price of Pennsylvania all contributed to the U.S. effort. Even after a stellar day 1, the U.S. wasn't finished. Day 2 of freestyle competition brought 3 more medals for the U.S. Brad Swartz of Washington captured a silver medal, and claimed bronze medals were Victor Ibar of Maryland and Jamie Kasser of Ohio. Going into the competition, Swartz had 5 Veterans World titles to his credit, and Kasser had won 2. They just missed winning golds this year, but they did continue to add to their resume. On the final day of freestyle, the medal-hungry Americans grabbed 3 more bronze. Octavius Bellamy of Illinois, Dan Lovell of Iowa, and Terrell Harris of Illinois all competed well and earned third-place finishes. Overall, the U.S. placed a strong third in freestyle and came home with a team trophy for their efforts. The total haul for Team USA in freestyle, an amazing 18 medals. The Greco team for the U.S. was smaller but enjoyed success on all 3 days of action. The big news came on the second day when the 51 to 55-year-old athletes were in action. Greg Stengard won 4 bouts on the way to the gold medal round. It was there he met and defeated Belarusian Hayadziv Rudzak in the championship finals. Stengard joins an exclusive list of U.S. Greco-Roman veteran world champions, including Yuri Kalika and Ronald Hughes in that company. Along with the gold, Stengard was named the Mat.com Wrestler of the Week. Well, the first day of Greco-Roman was also a huge success with 3 medalists. Ron Engel of California won silver, Sarkis Darmenijan of California, and Peter Haig of Illinois all won bronze. Closing out the Greco-Roman division for Team USA, Octavius Bellamy of Illinois. He added a bronze medal to his collection. He won a medal in both styles for the U.S. last year. Overall, and at the end, the USA came home with 6 Greco-Roman medals this year, a good showing in the classic style. As we are our broadcast this week, the Women's World Championships are now underway in Canada, and Team USA is prepared for and is hoping for a strong performance. 4 of the American women in the event are past international champions, and that should help. Included a pair of past world champs, 2008 Clarissa Chun at 105 pounds and 2005 champ Iris Smith at 158 pounds. With the head of Olympic bronze medal team, Chun looks to build on last month's performance in England. The U.S. team also features 2010 world silver medalist Elena Paraskova at 138 pounds and 2011 world bronze medalist Adeline Gray at 147. We talked with national women's coach Terry Steiner prior to the team's departure.
Well, it's going to be tough. I mean, you know, the countries, the top countries in the world are going to be there to win it, you know, and just like us, we're there to win it. And so I expect that there's going to be tough competition all the way through. I mean, there might not be all of the number ones, but there will be, you know, there replacements right there. And you know, I think it'll be a mixed bag. You know, I think most teams will have a few of their number ones and then a few of their number 2 people. But again, it's their future people. It's the people that they're looking to for Rio. And, you know, I think it'll be very, very competitive.
Well, the news just keeps on coming. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly. Stay tuned.
ASICS has been there. They've been the lifeblood of the sport. It's been a long time, and they've been at the top of the game every year, forever. And I'll tell you what, now that I think about it, maybe that's where I've gotten my inspiration, because you know, I always want to be in the top of my game in wrestling, and I think that's where ASICS is and wants to be as well.
Well, the University World Championships take place next week, and the U.S. is sending a talented team. They'll be in action October 2nd through the 7th in Cortain, Finland. Both the men's freestyle and Greco-Roman teams emerged as a result of the university trials in Colorado Springs just a few weeks ago. Leading the men's freestyle team are three past NCAA champs: 185-pounder John Reeder of Iowa State, 211-pound strongman Dustin Kilgore of Kent State, and Tony Nelson of Minnesota at 264 pounds. They've all prepared for this huge competition. Both Kilgore and Nelson will return to their respective educational institutions to try to defend their NCAA titles this year. The men's Greco-Roman team is led by past junior world bronze medalist Toby Erickson at 286 pounds. 2012 U.S. Olympic trials runner-up Max Nowry at 121 pounds joins in the action as well. Now, while the men's team was assembled only a few weeks ago, the women's freestyle team has been set since March following the Women's University National Championships in Oklahoma City. Leading the women's team is 2011 senior world bronze medalist Adeline Gray at 147 and two-time junior world champion Victoria Anthony at 105 pounds. Team USA has high expectations of winning a number of medals in each style, and we will, of course, have all the results of these exciting competitions on future episodes of USA Wrestling Weekly. Well, last weekend, the U.S. Olympic Assembly met, and by unanimous vote, USA Wrestling's Executive Director Rich Bender was reelected as the chair of the U.S. Olympic Committee's National Governing Body Council. Now, the mission of the NGB Council is to assist the national governing bodies and Paralympic sports organizations as they strive to achieve sustained competitive excellence. Bender was first elected to this position in September of 2010, completing the term previously held by Skip Gilbert. This time around, Bender will serve a full 4-year term in this office. Bender was selected for this leadership position by the chief executives of the national governing bodies and Paralympic sports orgs. The combined activity of the organizations included in the NGB Council includes the presentation of, get this now, over 60,000 sports events each year and represents over 13 million individual NGB members. Congratulations to Rich Bender.
Well, it really is humbling, and the NGB Council, I think, is the most vital part of the U.S. Olympic Committee. The 47 national governing bodies that make up the U.S. Olympic Committee, I think, is a really vital part of the Olympic movement, and I think a foundation for how the Olympic program is run in our country. One thing for sure about the NGB Council is made up of a lot. There's huge diversity amongst the national governing bodies. Some big national governing bodies, some small, some incredibly successful on the Olympic program, some not. And I think the National Governing Body Council is focused on providing resources and support for all national governing bodies, regardless of where they are. And I think we're committed to being a significant communication pipeline to the U.S. Olympic Committee to ensure that U.S. Olympic Committee resources are being wisely invested in the national governing bodies.
Well, the Board of Trustees of Beat the Streets in New York City announced the appointment of Jim Fallis as its new executive director. Fallis comes to Beat the Streets New York after most recently serving as director of athletics at Northern Arizona University. Prior to that, he was athletic director at the University of Northern Colorado and Lake Superior State. He also coached wrestling at the collegiate level at Lake Superior State and has a lifelong involvement in the sport. At Northern Arizona, his program won 27 Big Sky Conference titles. At Northern Colorado, the program won 31 conference titles and 2 Division II NCAA championships. He's a member of 5 different Hall of Fames, including the NCAA Division II Wrestling Hall of Fame. Fallis joins this organization that has made a huge impact on the lives of young people in the city. Beat the Streets New York has helped create numerous high school and middle school teams in the city's school districts and also supported all levels of wrestling in New York. Many people are also aware of the amazing fundraising events by Beat the Streets, which have publicized the sport of wrestling at a high level. The last 2 years, the USA has faced Russia in a freestyle dual meet in historic Times Square in downtown. In 2012, there was also a special wrestle-off for the 132-pound spot on the Olympic team held in a dual meet in Times Square. These events were huge successes and helped Beat the Streets raise millions of dollars for their programs. USA Wrestling welcomes back Jim Fallis to the wrestling community and sends his best wishes on his new position. Well, the news just keeps on coming. You're watching USA Wrestling Weekly. Stay tuned.
Each season, Liberty Mutual's Responsible Sports Community Grant Program awards $65,000 to youth sports organizations and school sports programs that demonstrate their commitment to responsibility in youth sports. Your organization could be one of our 20 winners this season. It's easy. Simply visit responsiblesports.com and click on the Community Grant Program. Administrators register their organization with the program, then reach out to rally parents, coaches, and team supporters to log on and review either the Responsible Sports Parenting or Responsible Coaching Guide. Then complete the quiz and showcase your mastery of the concepts. Every successfully passed quiz is worth a point that you can credit to your favorite youth sports organization or school sports program. Connect with friends, family, and neighbors to rally more support. The teams and schools with the most points at the end of the grant period win. It's that simple. Watch the leaderboard throughout the grant season, then rally more of your supporters to increase your totals. Liberty Mutual is committed to celebrating and championing youth sports and to financially supporting organizations that demonstrate their commitment to responsible sports. Join the movement and start earning points toward your community grant.
Big news in the college wrestling community, and the fans are buzzing. The National Wrestling Coaches Association has announced its main event for its All-Star Classic, set for November 3rd at American University in D.C. Returning NCAA champs Kyle Dake of Cornell and David Taylor of Penn State have accepted invitations to face each other at 165 pounds in the annual Classic. Dake, a senior and a three-time NCAA champ, has had a career record now of 104. He's also the first wrestler to ever win 3 consecutive NCAA championships at 3 different weights. He won his NCAA title last year at 157. In Des Moines, he'll be gunning for a 4th NCAA title, this time at the same weight. His opponent across the mat, David Taylor. David enters his junior year as a 2-time NCAA finalist with a career mark of 70-1. His NCAA title last year at 165 followed a second-place finish his freshman year. Uniquely, both wrestlers were unbeaten in college competition last year. Wrestling purists will remember that Dake and Taylor met in freestyle at the 2012 U.S. Olympic trials at 163 pounds. Dake won the match by fall in the second period and ended up placing 3rd in the challenge tournament at the trials. The NWCA Classic serves as a premier event, helping to grow the sport of wrestling. Proceeds from the event will go towards supporting the sport in the Washington, D.C. area. Well, big news now from the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. Andrew Barth, a businessman from San Marino, California, and his wife Avery have made a $1 million multi-year pledge to the Hall's Wrestling Beyond the Walls campaign. It's the largest charitable gift in the 36-year history of the Hall of Fame and will surely make a huge impact on the sport. The Wrestling Beyond the Walls campaign will fund a comprehensive $6 million high-tech revitalization of the NWHOF facilities and exhibits, plus greatly expand the outreach initiatives. Barth has been an active leader within the sport at the Hall and within college and international wrestling communities. It was back in June of 2012 Barth received the Hall of Fame's Outstanding American honor, and rightfully so. This award demonstrates wrestling's pride in those who have used the lessons of the sport to launch notable careers in other walks of life. Barth was co-captain of the wrestling team at Columbia University, where he studied economics. He represented the New York Athletic Club in Greco-Roman and freestyle events for many years after. He excelled in the investment business and currently serves as the chairman of Capital Guardian Trust Company and Capital International Limited. Those interested in the National Wrestling Hall of Fame should visit its website at nwhof.org. And a very special thank you on behalf of our sport. Thanks for the leadership, Andrew. Thank you very much. Well, last week during the Women's World Team Trials, we had a chance to catch up with the 2012 Olympic Greco-Roman wrestler, Justin Lester of the U.S. Army. Lester, a 2-time world bronze medalist, will continue to compete in the new Olympic 4-year cycle, seeking to win more world and Olympic medals for Team USA.
That was a great experience, being around the top athletes in every sport, feeding off of that, things like that. Like you said, didn't come away with a medal and didn't wrestle nearly as how well I wanted to wrestle, but I did get the experience, and it's just another thorn in my side where I'm gonna have to pull out and get medals this quad.
Well, during the Junior World Championships in August, USA Wrestling's Jason Bryant visited with one of the most colorful people in the international wrestling community, FILA leader Razor Herbst. He speaks a number of languages and has lived in a number of different countries over the years, always working on behalf of the sport. Herbst assists with media relations at major events and a number of other duties as well within FILA.
And just say from here, hi to everybody in USA Wrestling, to James Revenak and Rich Bender, especially my good friends. Yeah, actually everywhere I give good service for USA teams.
Your wrestling news continues. This is USA Wrestling Weekly. Stay tuned.
There comes a point in your life that determines who you are, whether you will lead or follow, whether you will fight or give in, whether you will win or lose, and what you will count as your victory.
Both of these guys are explosive, and it's not over. This is going to be a great match.
Well, in 2009, there was a story which hit the national news about a pair of high school wrestlers from Cleveland and their decision to help each other with life's obstacles. D'Artagnan Crockett, a blind man, carried on his back his friend Lee Roy Sutton, who's a double amputee. Crockett helped Sutton get around, and Sutton served as Crockett's eyes. Crockett and Sutton, along with their wrestling, were guests of the U.S. Paralympics at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs. They came to watch a Team USA Wrestling practice, meeting Olympic-caliber wrestlers and coaches, and getting a personal tour of the OTC. Well, the athletes were invited to the judo room, where they were given a personal demonstration by athletes and coaches on the sport of judo. Almost exactly 3 years after their visit to the OTC, one of these remarkable young men was in the international sports headlines. D'Artagnan Crockett. He won a bronze medal in judo at the Paralympic Games in London. After his visit to Colorado, coaches from USA Judo recruited him into the Paralympic sport, and he became to train at the Olympic Training Center as well. His progress was indeed remarkable, and by 2012, he was talented enough to earn a spot on the Olympic team. Now, in London, Crockett had a great performance there. He opened with a victory over an athlete from France, but was defeated by Samuel Ingram of Great Britain. He was drawn back into the repechage when Ingram made the finals. He won 2 straight fights there, beating an opponent from Brazil, and then stopped Oleg Kretzel of Russia in the bronze medal bout. All of us at USA Wrestling are proud of D'Artagnan Crockett and his heritage in our sport, and take great pride in his Paralympic Games judo bronze medal. Well, it's time for our USA Wrestling Photo of the Week. The pictures are sent in by fans and families from around the country and are being considered for all of our photo contests, including USA Wrestler Magazine and our Facebook page. This week, our Photo of the Week is taken by Scott Perhocky. It depicts Bobby Perhocky of the Lakeland Predators Wrestling Club in Antioch, Illinois, as he competes at the North Chicago Sectionals, where he won a silver medal. Congrats to you, young man. You can have your photographs considered for all of our contests simply by emailing them to Gary Abbott at gabbott@usawrestling.org. Well, that'll do it for this week's broadcast. Until next week, I'm Scott Casper, and for all of us at USA Wrestling Weekly, thanks for watching. Good night, everybody.